kindly, It's very kindly sponsored by Jim Farrell's brother Richard these last 4 years. It's a wonderful opportunity for a young author I should say an aspiring author, to get some push on with their work. Richard Farrell, who is Director of Fiction at the Faber Academy in London, was our adjudicator. Sorry. Skinner, I'm sorry, I knew I'd do it. I knew it. I was going to say I'll just bring up the two Richards, and there I've done it. Sorry.
I had another job.
Okay, I'm going to ask Richard Skinner, our adjudicator, novelist, and Director of Faber Fiction courses in London. He's going to say a few words about the entries this year, and then Richard will hand over to the winner. Okay, the other Richard Farrell. There you go.
Thanks very much, everyone. This is my first time to Ireland. I'm happy to say, but also ashamed to say, I should have come years before now, but I've only been here since 5 o'clock. So I've yet to discover Bantry, but it already strikes me as a really wonderful place and a wonderful festival. So thank you, Denise, for inviting me. There were 40-odd entries to this year's JG Farrell Award. And I quickly narrowed it down to a short list of 4. But there was always one winner. And this entry just sort of was head and shoulders above the others, because it was a really exemplary way to open a novel. It was immediate, it was intriguing, and it was very baffling, but in a very good way. And the time schemes at the beginning and the opening novel were very clever and very curious. There's sort of 3 time schemes, and we kept on going back and forth. And the pacing was spot on for a novel. It was enticing without giving anything away. And I just wanted to read one line from it, just to give you a little taste. So this is in the very first paragraph. To this day, the voice is as clear as the early morning bell ringing across the river at Harper's Ferry, or the calls from the slave quarter, or the sound as we stepped out of the Gettysburg Woods on a July day in '63. So just to give you a lovely little taster there. So this year's JG Farrell Award goes to Yellow Jessamine by Brian Moore.
Well, I don't want to be too sexist about this, but it's good to see a man actually winning it for once. I was beginning to worry that we were fated, but anyway, congratulations. Let me just say just a very few words. First about JG Farrell, my brother. He won the Booker Prize in how time flies, 73, for The Siege of Krishnapur, and he won the first of the Faber Prize for Troubles, which is set in Ireland in the from 1916 onwards. But a few years ago, about just over a year ago, the Booker organisation ran a competition for what they called the Lost Booker, because the year that Troubles was published, they didn't have, it wasn't eligible, as were a few other novels. And he was lucky, we were lucky enough for him to win that. And it was a bittersweet thing. I wish that he'd been there to receive it himself. But that's who he was. He came to live in this area in 1979, and sadly he was drowned in an accident. And the reason why why I'm funding this award is first to thank the people of this area for the kindness and the welcome that they gave to Jim when he came, but also for the kindness and the support and the help that they gave us, his family, after the event. And we will be eternally grateful for that. And if we can do something to raise the standards of, well, no, let me rephrase that. If we can help literature in West Cork push to even greater heights, that would be the greatest satisfaction to me. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard, and thanks for a wonderful prize. You started it, it's running, it's going strong, and it's great. And thank you, Richard Skinner, for reading 40 entries. I'm just going to, this housekeeping, what can I say? A few changes to the programme. Carol Drinkwater's talk tomorrow night about the Olive Route, and her documentary about the Olive Route has been moved from the Mariner to the Maritime Hotel. Such was the demand for tickets. So it's no longer at the Mariner, it's at the Maritime. Also, Deborah Levy, who is reading in the library on Wednesday, is also giving another talk on Friday afternoon at 2:30 called Things I Don't Want to Know. And it was inspired, well, it's in response to George Orwell's Why I Write essay. So anyone with any interest in fiction I really should turn up. I think that's going to be a fascinating lecture. We also have added a reading by American poet Ken Taylor.